Okay, so welcome to the second lecture of Introduction to Statistics for Social Work. So, for this lecture, we will discuss descriptive statistics. Now, in descriptive statistics, we have central tendency, the variation, and the so called fractals. So, in central tendency, we are measuring the center of a data set. So, in measuring the center of a data set, we have this following. We have the mean, median, and the mode. Now, in measuring the variation of a data, these are the things that you need to remember. So we have the range, the variance, and the standard deviation. And then for fractals, fractals is simply measures of location. So we are locating the data in such a way that we have a certain percentage that is less than those other data to this value that we are looking at. I will demonstrate to you how to determine the three measures of central tendency I introduced uh, earlier. So here I have five data sets. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And this um, sixth row here, so the value is 3. So this 3 here is what we call the mean or the average of this uh, data set. So let us compute again the average. So to compute the average, we drag our cursor in this dialog box and type in equals and then the word average, and then we type in open parentheses. So you drag your data, so you can see here A1 colon A5, since we have A, so column A, and then we have row 1 to row 5, and then after that you close the parentheses and press enter. Voila! So here's your mean or average. So we already compute the mean or the average of a set of data. Now let us compute the median of a set of data. So as we can see, this is again our data set. Now to compute the median, let me first make our cursor or cell here. So this will, so at this location will arrive our median. Now to compute the median, you may type in equals and then type the word median. and then open parentheses, you drag your data, and then you close, and then after that press enter. So as we can see, so the median of this dataset is also the mean of the dataset. So after median, let us now compute the mode. So to produce the mode of this dataset, you may type in equals, and then we have mode dot sngl, and then open parentheses, you drag your data, close, and then you press enter. Now, why is that we have this kind of value? We know that the mode is the most frequent value in the dataset. Since each of these observations has an equal number of occurrence, the mode here would be no mode, because no one here got the highest occurrence or the most often frequency. Now, what if I will have this kind of data? So we have 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. And then let us compute the mode. So again, we have equals. Type in mode dot sngl, open parentheses, drag your data, close, and then press enter. Then voila, you have the value mode. Since in the data, the value 3 got the highest occurrence. Okay, so now we are going to compute some measures of variation. So let us start with range. So to compute the range is simply the difference between the highest data entry and the lowest data entry. So to compute the range, we may type in equals, and then you may click the highest data entry on your dataset minus to the lowest data entry, and then press enter. So you have the range. So next comes the variance of a dataset. So we have same observations. So let us compute the variance. Let's type in variance. And then to compute the variance, so you may type in equals and then var dot s, open parentheses, you drag your data, close parentheses, and then press enter. So this is now the variance of the dataset. Now, for the standard deviation, so let's type in standard deviation. So to compute the standard deviation of this dataset, you may type in equals and then stdev.s and then open parentheses, you drag your data, close parentheses, and then press enter. So this gives you the value of the standard deviation. Okay, so for fractals, we have the percentile, quartile, and decile. So let us compute first the percentile of this dataset. Percentile, by the way, meaning you are dividing the dataset into 10 equal parts. So the possible values of your percentile would be from 1 to 99 because we have a percent, so we are dividing your data into 100 equal parts. Okay, so for this example, let us compute the 50th percentile. So meaning the halfway of your dataset. So to compute the percentile, you may type in equals and then percentile dot inc and then open parentheses, you drag your data and then you press comma, and then for the value here you have k. So the value k here ranges from 0 to 1. So to get the 50th percentile, you may type in 0.5 and then you press enter. So as we can see, 3 here, meaning 50% of your data is less than or equal to the value 3. So as we know that 3 is the halfway of your data. Now, for quartile, we have second quartile. So for quartile, you are dividing your dataset into 4 equal parts. So the possible values of quartile would be from 1 to 4. So here we are looking at the second quartile. So second quartile is equivalent to 25th percentile. So meaning the value of the second quartile is also the same as the 50th percentile. Now, to determine the second quartile, we may type in equals and then quartile dot inc, open parentheses, drag your array data and then comma. So you may see here there's a value 0 for minimum value, 1 for first quartile, 2 median, 3 third quartile for maximum value. So we are looking at the 22nd quartile. So we may type in 2 and then we close and then press enter. So as we can see, the second quartile is equal to the 50th percentile. So technically, there is no way or there's no function decile in our Excel, so we cannot compute the decile directly. But since we have a percentile and a quartile function in Excel, we can convert um, those values into decile. We know that the fifth decile is equal to the 50th percentile, which is also equal to the second quartile. So we can conclude that in order for us to get the fifth decile, we can compute the 50th percentile or the second quartile. So the answer for the fifth decile would be 3. So this ends the second lecture. So I hope you learned something, and thanks for watching.